Hello, Mallory. I hate to bother you right now since I'm sure you're busy getting ready for the wedding, but do you have a moment? I need your help with something.
What's the matter, Linda?
It's the oddest thing. I just got to the chapel a short while ago, but when I gave the receptionist my name, they said I wasn't on the guest list. I did come a bit early because I thought you might like some help with your hair or makeup, but the timing shouldn't be an issue. Yours is the only wedding today, after all. I tried to explain that I'm the mother of the groom, but they were insistent that they couldn't let me in. And then there's my son. I had something extremely important to talk to Troy about, but he's not returning my calls. Would you mind terribly talking to the venue staff for me?
I'm sorry, Linda, but I am afraid I can't do that.
What's the matter? Are you too busy? Oh, that's all right. You can let them know that I'm on the guest list whenever you get the chance.
No, you don't understand. I'm the one that had you removed from the guest list in the first place. I also gave the venue staff explicit instructions not to let you inside. So why would I go to all the trouble of having you banned from the building just to let you in after all?
You what? You had me banned from the building? But why would you do a thing like that? This is my son's wedding.
It's very simple, really. You're nothing but a parasite.
Excuse me? What do you mean?
Troy told me all about you. Your husband died back when he was really young, and he left behind a massive insurance policy. And ever since then, all you've been doing is slacking off at home. You're a housewife to a dead-end husband. You haven't worked or done anything else productive with your life. How shameless can you be? What would your husband say if he saw how you were squandering the massive insurance money he left you? I'm sorry, but this is our wedding day, the happiest day of our lives. And I will not have someone as lazy, selfish, and greedy as you celebrating with us on such a happy occasion.
I can't believe this. Mallory, I am so disappointed in you. I would never have thought you would speak to me in such a manner. I'm going to have a talk with Troy about this as soon as possible. If that boy would only pick up his phone.
Oh, I wouldn't count on Troy to come to your rescue, Linda. He's on my side.
What? There's no way.
As a matter of fact, he told me personally that he's embarrassed to call you his mother.
No.
He said that he feels like he would die of embarrassment to have an unemployed parasite like you at his wedding. So since we both feel the same way about you, we decided that we would ban you from coming to our wedding.
You may be right that I've not had any traditional employment since my husband passed, but calling me a parasite, that's simply unfair. I gave my all to raise Troy. I cared for him in the house by myself ever since he was a child.
Really, Linda? Housework? Don't act like you've done something amazing just because you washed the dishes and swept the floor. Any idiot can do that. And I mean, so what if you raised him? That's literally the bare amount of effort required of a parent. To call that work is an insult to all the people who actually work to make society function. But as long as you've come all this way, you can go ahead and leave whatever gift you got for us at the front desk. That's all we want from you, though. We don't need any useless parasites at our wedding.
Is that really the only reason you're not allowing me inside?
Yes. Now get out of here.
Hey, Mom, sorry, I'm running late. I'll be at the chapel soon, though, so let's meet up, okay? Where are you right now?
Hello, Kyle. Unfortunately, I'm not allowed inside the building.
What? But you're family, and not just any family. You're the mother of the groom. There must be some mistake. The venue staff must have mixed up the guest list or something. I'll message Troy and have him take care of it for you.
No, don't bother. There isn't any mistake. Mallory and Troy intentionally had me banned from the building.
What? I mean, what? What are you talking about? Are you serious?
It seems the two of them take issue with the fact that I haven't had any sort of job since your father died. Apparently, I'm a parasite, in their words. I suppose I could have seen this coming. Your older brother has always been rather cold to me. But to think that Mallory would agree with him, actually, she might even be egging him on.
That's gotta be the dumbest thing I've ever heard. So what if you've never had a normal job? You worked more than hard enough to raise us by yourself all these years. And it's not like you haven't been doing anything with your time. Wait a second. If I remember correctly, you were going to talk to Troy about that today, weren't you? Did you get the chance to talk to him yet?
I've tried calling him and texting him multiple times, but I haven't gotten any response. And since I can't get inside the building to talk to him directly, no, I haven't had the chance yet.
Yeah, and that's a conversation that would best happen in person anyway.
In any case, they're not letting me inside, but I don't believe they've banned you from the building. Don't worry about me, Kyle. You go ahead and enjoy the wedding.
But, Mom!
I mean it. Go on inside. Have fun.
All right, if you say so, but I'm gonna try and get through to Troy and Mallory. I've known Mallory since before she and Troy started dating, so maybe I can talk some sense into her.
Really, Kyle, it's fine. You don't need to go to any trouble for my sake. Even if you somehow got them to let me come inside, it's very clear that I'm not wanted.
If you say so, but you aren't really fine with this, are you? I mean, they're completely wrong about you. If nothing else, I think I can at least wake Mallory up. Troy might be too far gone. Who knows, maybe I can get Mallory to twist his arm for us.
Thank you, Kyle.
Are you for real, Linda? You're still not giving up? You went and tattled to Kyle, didn't you? Well, thanks for proving me right about you. You're nothing but a useless parasite.
Mallory, would you please explain why you hate me so much? Have I ever done anything to you to deserve this sort of treatment? I can't think of a reason.
Oh, you want a reason? I'll give you one. I hate people who can't stand on their own 2 feet. All you've ever done is leech off the success of your dead husband. When you decided to live the rest of your life just by siphoning away at the money he left for you, you spat on his grave. You disgust me. People like you have no respect for all the effort that goes into making society function. So until the day comes when you stop being a lazy moocher and do something productive with your life, there is no way we will ever have anything to do with you. Well, Linda, do you understand now why I hate you so much?
When my husband passed away, do you know what the last thing he said to me was? He told me to take good care of our children. I honored his request and dedicated all of my time and effort to ensuring Troy and Kyle had everything they needed. And this is the thanks I get for that?
Oh, don't you dare try to guilt trip your kids over your bad decisions. I feel so bad for both of them that they had to be stuck with a lazy parasite like you for a mother. And not just them, your entire family. You're a disgrace to your family's name. Just so you know, even once me and Troy get married, I will never consider you my mother-in-law. I won't even consider you as family. You're nothing to me, and that's the way it's gonna stay.
This is quite the attitude change from you, Mallory. I remember the first time Troy brought you to the house to introduce us. What happened to the Mallory I spoke to that day?
Are you really so dense that you don't know I was putting on an act? What was I supposed to do? Be honest with you? How would that conversation have gone, I wonder? Nice to meet you. I hate your guts. Let me marry your son. Something like that? I had no choice but to get you to like me, or else it would have meant a ton of unneeded trouble for both of us. That's basically what every family does, right? You pretend to like each other because you have to.
It seems that you and I have very different conceptions of what it means to be family. So, fine, have it your way. As of this day, I disown Troy as my son and you as my daughter-in-law.
Wait, what?
I'm afraid I will never see eye to eye with you. If you're so opposed to my presence in your family, then there's nothing else for me to do but remove myself from your family.
For real? Oh my God, this was way easier than I expected it would be. I figured you'd be begging and pleading for us to let you in for at least a few more hours. But now, not only are you staying out of our wedding, you're also saving us the trouble of disowning you. I'm gonna text Troy to tell him the good news right away. I just took a screenshot of our conversation, so you can't take it back anymore.
I have no intentions of ever taking it back. I think you'll come to regret the choices you made today, Mallory.
Yeah, right. This is the best day of my life. Hey, where's our gift? I think you've kept us waiting long enough at this point. When are you going to send us your gift?
Your gift? What are you talking about?
Do you speak English? Our wedding gift. Your son got married a few days ago. Don't tell me you're not going to give him anything at all. I guess maybe you've been shut up in your house for so long that you've completely forgotten about basic etiquette.
I seem to recall telling you on the day of the wedding that I disowned Troy as my son. Why would you be expecting a gift from me?
You didn't disown him until the day of the wedding, though.
Be that as it may, you were enthusiastic about the prospect of me removing myself from your lives. I don't feel compelled to give any sort of gift to people who would so cruelly insult me as you two did. In any case, I think I gave the two of you more than enough money before your wedding.
That was before our wedding. This is now we're talking about. Well, we used all the money you gave us before to pay for the wedding. Now that we're married, we need all the money we can get to finance our lives together moving forward. Or what's the matter? Are you telling me you've already burned through all your husband's money? Wow, you might be even more of a greedy parasite than I thought.
Oh, you don't need to worry about me at all, Mallory. I'm not hurting for money. It's true that I've never had what you would call a traditional job, but that's not to say that I have no income.
What income could you possibly have? Are you talking about welfare money from the government or something?
No, I make far too much to receive any welfare. My income is somewhere around $20,000 a month.
Huh? Oh wait, don't tell me. Are you about to invite me to join your pyramid scheme or something? You should work on your pitch. Going straight to $20,000 a month is pretty unbelievable. Start with somewhere closer to $3,000. You might get more bites.
It's not a pyramid scheme, it's just real estate. I worked in real estate back before I was married, and I still have a valid realtor's license. I still own all the rental properties I acquired back then, and I've bought quite a few more since. I mean, did you really think that I was relying solely on my husband's insurance money all this time? The math doesn't make sense if you give it a little thought. I raised 2 boys by myself without a regular 9-to-5 job, and I put them both through college. There's no way I could do that without having some other source of income.
Wait, so you're telling me that you're pulling in $200,000 a year?
Perhaps math isn't your strong suit, but 12 times 20 is 240, so it's actually around $240,000 a year.
But that's insane! Why didn't Troy know about that?
I know that boy better than anyone else, Mallory, even you. He's so impulsive that if I were to tell him about my rental properties, he would no doubt dive headfirst into buying whatever real estate he could. He'd go bankrupt within a month and spoil any chance he may have had at a prosperous future.
Okay, but if you told him the truth, then he wouldn't have grown up thinking you were just lazy and unemployed. And the same goes for me. I would never have kicked you out of my wedding if I had known about that.
I don't see what your issue is. Is there something morally inferior about being a full-time parent or superior about being a real estate investor? It doesn't seem to me like a person choosing one path over the other would merit treating them better or worse. Why should the way a person chooses to make money or how much they make change your opinion of a person? But you and Troy feel differently, apparently. It looks like I made the right choice when I decided not to tell the two of you about my rental income.
But if that's true, then you have even more of a reason and responsibility to give us a good wedding gift. You're making $20,000 a month for absolutely nothing, right? You can part with a measly $10,000. If you write us a check for $10,000, then I'll give you a pass on not having it ready in time for our wedding and for lying to us about your income.
First of all, I never lied to you. I simply never told you, and you never asked. Second, you're in no position to forgive me for anything. I will not give you another cent for as long as I live.
Oh yeah? Well, we'll see about that.
I don't think you're in much of a position to do anything to change my mind.
If you won't listen to me, then I'll just have to go and talk to someone who can get through to you. Kyle's a reasonable guy, and he'll see things from my point of view. Kyle, are you there? There's something I need your help with.
What do you want? I still haven't gotten over what you did at the wedding, you know.
Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to talk to you about. Me and Troy were under a huge misconception. We always thought that your mom was just some loser, unemployed woman who stayed at home doing nothing all day. But it turns out she's actually making a ton of money from a bunch of rental properties she owns. Did you know about that?
Yeah, kinda. Back when I was in college, I stopped home one night and there was a huge manila folder on the table that I didn't recognize. I opened it up to see what it was, and it turns out that was the folder my mom kept all her real estate documents in. The very top page was a list of all the units she owns and the rent coming in each month from them. I guess Mom didn't know I was coming over, so she hadn't put it away yet. She told me about everything that day.
Seriously? I mean, you know, but you didn't tell Troy? He's your brother. How could you keep it a secret?
You even need to ask? It's because I knew what a disaster it would be if he found out. Is that all you wanted to talk to me about?
No, there's more. Get this. Your mom didn't give us anything for our wedding. No money, no presents, nothing. Isn't that awful? Like, so what if she couldn't come to the wedding? That doesn't change the fact that it was still her son's big day.
Hold on a minute, let's clarify one thing. By couldn't come to the wedding, you mean that you banned her from the building, right? And yet you have the gall to act like she got sick or missed the bus or something? Not to mention, you've been calling her a parasite, haven't you?
Well, she is just a landlord, isn't she? Owning property isn't a job. She's still just leeching off the labor of other, more productive people.
That sounds like communist propaganda, but okay. Anyway, you made your choice to talk down to her, and you're reaping what you sowed right now.
But what about you, Kyle? You don't want to see me struggling with money, do you? I am your ex-girlfriend after all, remember?
I've spent the last several years trying to put it out of my mind completely, actually.
Oh, I think I detect a hint of jealousy. Are you still mad that I left you for Troy? What's the matter, Kyle? You still have feelings for me?
Get over yourself, would you? Exactly what would make you think I still have feelings for you?
Oh, you know, the fact that you were completely head over heels for me while we dated?
You were my first girlfriend, Mallory, so yeah, I did have some pretty strong feelings for you back then. But then you completely brushed me off and went out partying by yourself all the time. And to top it all off, you broke up with me and started dating my brother because you thought he had more career potential than me. I'd say that's my strongest memory of you, the way you looked at me when telling me you were leaving me for Troy. It was like you didn't think you had done anything wrong at all. And you haven't changed a bit since then. Actually, no, I think you've become an even worse person since you started dating Troy. You stabbed me in the back and treated my mother like dirt, and now you think I'm gonna help you work things out with her? What's with this sudden change of heart anyway? First you avoided her like the plague, but now that you know she's got money, you want to get back in her good graces? Are you that hard up for money?
Yeah. We made a promise to each other that we wouldn't let the other know how much we had in savings until after the wedding. Troy works for a really big company, though, so I figured he must make a ton of money in the bank. But he just showed me his bank account balance the other day, and he's got nothing. He's got to have a decent salary. How does he not have any savings?
You mean you didn't know?
No what?
Troy has a gambling problem.
What?
That's right, he's an addict, and he spends most of his money at the casino every month. And that's not all, he even went into debt to make a big bet on a football game that he lost.
No way. But that doesn't make any sense. He's never acted like he has money problems. Like he always buys me whatever I want and takes me out to expensive restaurants on dates.
Where do you think that money came from? That's all money he borrowed. If you won't take my word for it, take a look inside his briefcase one of these days. I'll bet it's full of letters from debt collectors demanding repayment.
I can't believe it. If I knew he was that deep in debt, I never would have married him. Why didn't you tell me about that? If I am doomed to live in poverty for the rest of my life, it is all your fault, Kyle.
You betrayed me, Mallory. I don't have any responsibility to save you from yourself.
What am I gonna do? I was so sure that I'd be living a life of luxury once me and Troy got married that I went and spent all my savings on a bunch of shoes and handbags. You have to do something, Kyle.
Nah, this is your problem, not mine. What was it that you said to my mom? That you hate people who can't stand on their own 2 feet? Well, guess what? Here's your opportunity to stand on your own 2 feet and solve your own problems.
But I can't.
Uh-oh, you don't want to become the very thing that you hate, do you, Mallory?
Shut up, will you? I don't need your mockery right now. I need to go have a talk with Troy. Why is this happening to me? This is all your fault, Linda. You tricked me. I'm gonna sue you for fraud.
Well, good afternoon to you too, Mallory. How have I defrauded you, may I ask?
You never told me that Troy was a gambling addict. Kyle told me about it the other day, but I didn't believe him. When I asked Troy about it, though, he admitted everything.
Let's get one thing straight. I did not know about Troy's gambling problem or his debt. It's been years since he moved out of the house and started living on his own. Also, he's under the impression that the insurance money I got from his father's death is almost all gone. So he's never even come to me to ask for money.
Okay, so maybe you didn't know, but you're still his mother, aren't you? That means you have to take responsibility for him. You've got plenty of money, so you can give some to me to apologize for not raising him better. If you won't give me anything, then you'll just have to pay off all Troy's debts for him.
This is going to give me a migraine.
Oh, I know. You can just hand over all the rental properties you own to us. If we were making $20,000 a month, we could pay off all Troy's debts in no time. You've got tons of skills and experience, so you can just start from scratch. That won't be a problem for you. Think of it as giving Troy an advance payment on his inheritance.
I've heard more than enough out of you, Mallory. Do you have any idea how hard I have worked to build what I have? I lost my husband, who at the time was the sole breadwinner for the family. I had 2 children to support, though, so I had to find work immediately. I barely even had time to mourn. But they were so young at the time, I felt terrible leaving them at a daycare center all day. That's when an old colleague called me up and asked if I would be interested in real estate investment. Yes, I had skills and experience, but that didn't mean it was easy. It took a lot of trial and error before I managed to find success. Once I had a stable home, I decided to focus on raising my boys. My real estate portfolio is what allowed me to be with my sons to watch them grow up, and I will not simply hand it over to you.
You just said you started investing for your sons, right? Then why won't you just let Troy have it?
Originally, I was planning on doing just that. I saved up more than enough to ensure my needs are met once I retire, and I plan to split my portfolio evenly between Troy and Kyle. However, all that changed on the day of your wedding.
Oh?
Do you recall that I had something important to talk to Troy about that day? I was going to discuss handing over his half of my real estate portfolio to him. Since he would be starting his own family, the additional income would have helped him achieve financial security. But then you banned me from entering and called me a parasite, so I gave up being his mother. So I no longer have any reason to give him anything.
Hey, about what I said, I'm sorry, I take it all back.
You're too late. I already made my decision to hand over my entire portfolio to Kyle. My lawyer filed the necessary paperwork, so there is no going back anymore. I'm passing down all of my skills and experience to Kyle as well. So I can't give him anything anymore. I have nothing left to give.
No, you mean I am stuck living with a gambling addict who's up to his eyeballs in debt?
You could always divorce him.
But Troy said that if I did that, he'd get his lawyer friend to screw me over. I'd be left with nothing, and I can't afford my own lawyer. I'll never be able to beat him.
Troy did go to a rather prestigious university. I'm sure he knows some of the best lawyers in the area. But none of this is my problem at all, Mallory. It's yours. So don't ever contact me again. You are nothing to me.
Come on, this can't be happening.
I was planning on coming to your house for Thanksgiving. Is that all right?
Of course it's all right. You're welcome to come to my house anytime you'd like.
I don't suppose Troy will be coming, will he? As a matter of fact, I don't even remember the last time he's been at your place on Christmas, Easter, July 4th, or anything.
I don't either. I doubt he wants to see either of us very much right now.
Hey, tell me, Mom. So, Troy was pretty awful to you, but it's got to hurt, doesn't it? Having to cut ties with your own son?
I would be lying if I were to say that I've never regretted doing what I did, but he's not a child anymore. He's an adult man and he needs to take responsibility for his own decisions from now on. It's his life. I suppose as long as he's still alive, I won't feel too guilty about anything.
Yeah, I know that must have been a really difficult decision for you to make, so you must have really been angry at him. Enough about him, though. I had a question for you. While I'm there for Thanksgiving, would you mind giving me a few pointers on real estate investment? There are a couple of properties I was looking at buying, but I'm not sure if it's a good idea.
I would be glad to give you any advice that I can. But you've already been at this for a while now. I'll bet you're already just as knowledgeable as I am.
It's only been a month, Mom. There's no way I know as much as you do. I still have a ton of stuff that I want to learn from you. You can teach me all that stuff right after you teach me how to cook a turkey, okay?
Sounds wonderful, Kyle. You know what I'm thankful for this year? Having a son as wonderful as you. About 6 months after the debacle at the wedding, I heard a knock on my door. When I opened it, who do you suppose was there? It was none other than Mallory. And why do you suppose she was there? You guessed it, to beg me for money. It seems that Troy hadn't quite gotten over his gambling problem. Any money that he gets his hands on goes straight into the slot machines. They rarely have any money left over at the end of each month. Additionally, Troy has been telling her that it's a wife's job to make sure the house is spick and span at all times. If he finds something even the slightest bit out of order, he starts tearing into her. That's causing her quite a bit of emotional pain. I wonder if this is my fault. I was always something of an immaculate housekeeper myself. Perhaps Troy is comparing her capabilities as a housewife to mine. They have fights just about every other day, and what does Troy do to relieve the stress from their fights? Why, he goes to the casino, of course. So they fight because of his gambling, and then he gambles to relieve the stress from the fights. It's a vicious cycle that's sending them deeper and deeper into debt. I told Mallory the same thing I told her before, that I don't have anything to give to her. When I said that, she didn't try to argue or talk back to me. She just got quiet, slumped her shoulders, turned around, and slowly walked away. And I haven't heard a thing from either Mallory or Troy ever since. I have no idea where they are or what they're doing now. However, the fact that I haven't heard anything from the police either tells me that they're likely neither deceased nor in jail. As for me, after handing over all my real estate properties to my son, I found myself with an abundance of free time, so I decided to make a comeback. I bought a small apartment building and I spend my free time cleaning the building and talking to the residents. They're all such wonderful people, and they're very appreciative of how well I maintain the building. Some even invite me over for tea from time to time, which is nice for an old widow like me. I also give Kyle advice from time to time about real estate. He's such a wonderful young man. I think my next mission will be to find a nice young girl for him.